Yes. Is it going? Yes, it is. Okay, so if you're on this Zoom right now, Kenzie and Jennifer, thank you for being on with me. That means that you're a leader. So congrats to you guys. Like, seriously, I just want to like jump into June with like just excitement and like energy, and that's why I wanted to jump on a Zoom and be like face to face and like talk and vision cast. So that's what we're gonna do. And I know I sound like a crazy person when I say that, like vision casting, what the heck is that? But just, it's gonna blow your mind. So basically what we're gonna be doing is getting very specific about our goals, and I'm gonna do it with you guys. So there's a book, and if you want to write this down, you can, and it's called Millionaire Morning, and you can find it on, I think you can order it off millionairemorning.com. It's like $7 or something, or you can find it on Audible, I believe. And there's a quote in there that says, so many people say they want to make more money, but do you actually know how much more you want to make? That may seem super simple, but if you really think about it, like genuinely, what is that dollar amount? And you don't have to say it out loud, but I want you to just think about that for like a second. Like, think about what is that dollar amount that would be like so helpful right now, like monthly income wise. What is that dollar amount that's popping up into your head, and write it down. Like right now, write it down. And I'm going to do it too. Let me get a clean piece of paper here. So write that down first, because we're going to get super clear about our money vision. And that's what this is all about. And of course, this business is not all about money. We know that. It's about the friendships. It's about helping people. But part of it is about making money. And because we don't go to a 9-to-5 desk job where people are like, where we have a boss telling us what to do, we have to be our own boss. And when you get super real about what that income is that you want, that becomes like kind of your boss in a way. Like, that becomes your motivator. That's what keeps you disciplined, is when you have that exact goal in mind. So write down your number, and then what we're gonna do with that number is I'm gonna play some music for like 2 minutes, and we're gonna just write a list of however many things you can think of in the little bit of time I play music, just things that money would pay for. So it could be like car payment, literally anything. Just think through what that money would do for you. And I'm gonna do it too. And I'm gonna start the music, and we'll go ahead and do that.
Where are you now when darkness seems to end? Where are you now when the world is crumbling? Oh, I hear you say.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in really quick and just say again, if you're writing down things like help pay bills, help like give back more, those are 2 examples, but like what specific bills is it gonna pay for? And you don't have to say it out loud again, but just write down specifically, like, you know, let's say your goal is an extra $200 a month, like what does that break down to for you? And then I'll give you guys like a couple more seconds because I'm not done with my list yet, and then I'll go on to the next thing.
You said, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey. Where are you now? When
Okay. Was that enough time? Were we golden?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody good? Okay, so now this is where you're gonna be like, I am not doing that. That is so weird. I'm not doing that. And I have never done this in my business. So we're all gonna be doing this for the first time together. It's really not that weird. But something that a lot of top leaders do is they will write down that dollar amount that you just wrote down. They'll take it and they'll tape it places with like a sticky note or just paper and tape. They'll put it somewhere where they look at every day. So whether that's on your coffee pot, your door when you're leaving the house, your fridge, like whatever it is that you look at every single day, put it there. There's actually a top leader, Ashley Mayfield, and she puts her little note right next to her toilet paper roll. So, because you use the bathroom every day, use the toilet paper every day, you're going to look at that number that you have set out for yourself and what you want. So, Crystal, yay, I'm glad you're on. I'm just going to recap what we just did really quick. So, basically we're vision casting on this Zoom, and we are writing right now, we're writing down the exact number, like dollar amount that we're going for, that we want to make. And we just made a list of all the things that that income is going to help us do. And I was just saying, like, not only should we be writing it down, but we should also be taking it and putting it in places that, you know, we can see every day. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to be putting it like in all of the places because the more you see it, the more you're going to believe it and believe that it's even possible for you. I don't care how big the dollar amount is. I really don't. It doesn't matter. If you're constantly putting that in front of your face and in front of your eyes, and you're telling yourself that when you're reading it, it's gonna come back to you and it's going to happen. So, and you know, like I said before, we aren't at an office where our boss is telling us, work this many hours and then you'll get paid. Work this many hours and then you'll get paid. That's not how this business works. So this business works like you work and you work and you work and you work and you work, and then a bunch of people tell you no and you get really discouraged. And then you feel like, why am I even doing this? And, you know, all these negative things come in. So that's why putting out there, like, your number goal of what you want is so important, you guys. Like, so important. And I've written it down in a notebook over and over and over through the 3 years I've been doing this, but I've never cut it out and taped it anywhere. So I'm about to try this. I think we should all try it. And
definitely.
yeah, and if you like think of a like funny or cool idea of where to put it, then share it on like the team page. Like, I want to see where you guys put your goals. We can like share pictures. Like, my husband thinks I'm crazy because I put it right next to the toilet paper. Like, Ryan's about to be like, what are you doing? Why is there like a random note next to the toilet? But seriously, you guys, hey, you could even get creative and just write it on the toilet paper so that as you're pulling it, you'll see it over and I'm kidding. But seriously, like, I just think that that is huge, and I think it would really, really help. So with that being said, like, hanging it up, another thing that the author in this book, The Millionaire Morning, the thing that he talked about is there are like a set of questions that you should be asking yourself every single day. And I would totally write these down, so I'll just try to talk slow. So here's the questions. It's, what do I need to learn? And then I'm like so bad at knowing when we're ready. And then I'm gonna type them in the chat actually too. So what do I need to learn? And who, the second one is, who do I need to connect with? And these are all questions you should be asking yourself if you're wanting to really, really reach that goal, that money goal that you wrote down. And then the third one is, what skill do I need to master? And then there's two more. And I'm putting these in the chat, so that way you can go back and copy them down if you want to. The fourth one is, what action do I need to take? And the last one is, what fear do I need to overcome? So these are all questions that we should be asking ourselves every single morning. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have this be part of my personal development every morning. Which if you didn't see on the team page, I'm going to be doing a personal development Zoom every morning at 9, where we're going to be listening to a book while we work. But aside from the book, I'm going to be doing this like kind of active personal development of asking myself these questions every morning, because I think just having a heart check with where you're at in your business is so important. And I wrote down like a few answers to these questions, because I think it can be overwhelming. Like, these questions are very vague and there could be a million different answers to them. So the first one, what do I need to learn? What I would say to that, the biggest thing in this business for like what you need to learn to be successful is consistency and doing those basic tasks, the tasks that I sent in the boom chat. So, you know, the posting, the following up, the practical stuff we do in our business. Like, those are the things that nobody really understands how to do effectively when they first start, and it's all learn as you go. And I think that's why so many people are intimidated by businesses like this, because they're like, well, I don't know what to post about. I don't know how to add new people. I don't know how to I don't know who to talk to. You know, it's all very overwhelming and new. But the whole point of it is that you learn as you go. And I think one of the coolest things is that we genuinely get paid to become the best version of ourselves. Like, you guys, without personal development, I would not be here 3 years later. Heck, no. Like, and the thing is at the start of my business, I didn't think I needed it. I didn't think it was necessary. And everything comes crumbling down when you do not have it. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And that's what personal development does, is it's continually filling your cup every single morning, just amping yourself up, encouraging yourself and getting yourself back on track. So personal development is so huge. So that's the other thing I would suggest making a priority, and learning how to do it and what works best for you. And I also wanted to say, like, if you guys have questions while I'm talking, please put them in the chat, because this is not supposed to be like me talking at you like I'm the leader and you have to listen. No, this is like a conversation. I want to hear like what questions you guys have too. So if something comes up, let me know. But that third question, the what skill do I need to master? So for that, I think the biggest thing is like how to talk to people. And that's another thing that you learn as you go. So the more people you're talking to, the better you're going to get at it. And obviously, you know, send me those screenshots, like, do that, but you're never going to get better at talking to people unless you're doing it. So it's just one of those things that you have to just jump in like head first and just do it, even though it's terrifying, even though it's scary, even though you have no idea what you're talking about or what you're saying. Like, I'm here for you to help walk you through those conversations, but you have to take the initiative to do those things and start those conversations. So I think that would be, a really good one for that third one. Like, what do I need to master? Like, start just talking to everyone and anyone about this business. Anyone who's willing to listen, tell them about it. One thing that I heard from a leader that really stuck out to me was like, if you hold back from telling someone about this business, whether it's the products or the opportunity, you're literally doing them a disservice. You're keeping this like amazing, like best kept secret away from them. And what a horrible thing to do. Like, I often use the example of my uncle. So when I started this business, I had like those few people who, you know, I assumed, you know what they say about assuming, I just assumed they would never want these products. And so because of it, I assumed that. I never asked them. And these are people, obviously, that I know, their family, their friends, but I never asked my uncle. So just to paint a picture for you guys, he's 6'7". He's very, he's a miner, not your typical, like, somebody I would think would be in my market for our products at all. And he reached out to me and was like, so how come you haven't asked me about your products and if I want to try them? And I was like, shoot, I can't believe this. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, he was almost like offended that I hadn't ever asked him. And I kid you not, maybe this was like a year into my business. He started ordering. He still orders to this day. And he's like one of my most loyal customers out of all my customers. So you just genuinely never know who needs the products, who's going to love them. So don't let that fear, that prejudgment of what people need and want, don't let that hold you back from talking to those people. What else? Okay, so yeah, so definitely write down, that number, that money vision goal that you have. And every morning, make sure you take the time to look at that. And like, obviously, it'll be in a place that you look every day. But don't let it become like habit, or like don't let it just blend in with your like life, you know what I mean? By the way, I see your comments in the chat and I'll get to those in just a second, but I'm way too ADD to like stop what I'm doing and do that, so I'll get back to them in just a second. What else was I gonna say? Okay, I think that was it, and then I can do that. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the questions now. Kenzie. Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Okay, so the whole thing with like, so I'm just gonna read her question out loud in case you guys can't see it. She says, is there a way to know when someone's just gonna waste your time and give you the runaround? How do you know when to stop following up? I feel annoying lately because I'm just getting left on red. Okay, this is so normal. First of all, let me just say that. A lot of times, like I would say probably 9 times out of 10, what's happening is the person reads it and they're in the middle of something and they can't reply, or the person doesn't have money, but they're embarrassed to tell you. So those are usually the 2 reasons why people like say, yeah, I'm interested, like I want to order, and then it comes time to order and then they ghost. And it's like, hello, hi, where are you? I thought you were gonna order. Like, it's, yeah, you like get all excited and like, oh my gosh, they're gonna order, and then they just ghost. This happens to me. I could literally go through my inbox right now and like say, they ghosted me, they ghosted me, they ghosted me. Here's my rule of thumb though, to answer your question. So if somebody was interested in the product, they said, yes, you already went over pricing with them and they were going to order, like it was so close and they were about to order and then they didn't, and every time you follow up they're ghosting, I'm sorry, but that person is going to continue getting followed up because they were about to order. If it's a situation where they ghosted you while you were explaining the product, maybe you didn't get to the point of sealing the deal of them agreeing to order, with them I would switch that to maybe, if you follow up with them weekly, which is what I do. I follow up with people weekly, and if they're still ghosting you, then switch to monthly. So let me just write this out because it'll be way easier. I'm gonna type it, then you guys can write it down. Okay, so I'm gonna just use host to post as an example. So let's say you put out like a bunch of host to posts and you have all these new potentials you're talking to from that day, and you like start the conversation, they're talking to you, and then they ghost you. All those people are going to get followed up with 2 days later. So they were interested in the product, that you were in the middle of talking about it and they ghosted you. So 2 days is the first one. And then, okay, so let's say you follow up with them the 2 days later and then they still read it and don't reply. Then they go to my weekly. I'm going to write this down here. Hold on. 2 days. I'm sorry, I can't like multitask. Hang on, I'm gonna type it and then I'll say it. Okay. So I just typed it out. So again, you're talking to them, they ghost on you in the middle of the conversation. I follow up 2 days later. They ghost me on that. Then I go switch to weekly. After 4 weekly follow-ups, so after a month of following up with them every Friday, I'm gonna switch to monthly because they have pretty much like given me the idea that, you know, they're not interested anymore. Hi. Sorry, Ryan. So after that, then I switched to monthly because I'm not going to let them go. I'm not going to stop following up with them, but I'm not going to do it weekly anymore because it does feel a little bit like, okay, they're probably getting annoyed. I'm not going to like want to scare them away. But I always come back to the fact that you always want to be the person that they think of when they think of It Works Global and the coffee that they've been wanting to try, or the hair, skin, and nails. Maybe they went and got a haircut and it's awful and they hate it and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to grow my hair back so fast. I need something now. Oh yeah, there's that hair, skin, and nail product. Oh, who sells that? Oh, Crystal does. I remember Crystal does It Works. I'm going to reach out to her because she followed up with me 800 million times and I never replied. But now I'm going to order. Like, you would not believe how many times that happens. And I actually have a girl in my network who's a potential that I've been following up with over and over and over. She ghosts me every time, every month that I follow up with her. And I've been following up with her probably for over a year now. Like, it's ridiculous. But one of her friends made a status saying, does anyone know anyone who sells It Works? And that girl that I've been following up with tagged me in the comments. I wonder why she picked me to tag in the comments. Probably because I've been blowing up her phone monthly for the past year. That may seem annoying, but like, you want to be that person. You know what I mean? So, and you always have to remember, like, it's not annoying if they were interested initially. And if it is annoying, they can block you. I always say follow up until they tell you, please stop following up with me, or they block you. I mean, really, you know, I know it sucks, obviously, to be left on red. It's not fun and it's not a good feeling. But if they were interested, they're going to come around eventually. And I've had it happen so many times. I've had people thank me, like, thank you so much for following up. I'm so sorry that I kept ignoring you. Just stuff was coming up and I was busy. And, you know, it's usually something like that. So I hope that helps. Does that answer your question?
It does. And like, little side note, honestly, how long did you follow up with me before I finally became a distributor?
Yeah, you guys,
It was a
seriously.
long time.
I mean, it wasn't crazy long. I think in January. So the way Kenzie and I got connected was she commented on a post that one of my Facebook friends put out. And I messaged her and she was like, yeah, I want the coffee. I think we went over pricing and you were like, I'll send me the steps. And I sent her the steps and she never said anything. And then I kept following up with her weekly and then I switched to monthly. And then she commented on one of my posts about the business. And now she's a rock star in the business. So like, those people, those people that you're worried about who aren't replying might be your next runner on your team. Like, you just don't know. And so what do you think, like, what were I want to ask this, and you can be totally honest. Like, what were the reasons why you didn't reply? Because I think that's interesting, like, for other people to hear.
Okay, like mainly it was the whole part of like the fact that I wanted the products really bad, but I couldn't afford them.
Right.
I wasn't like able to commit that much money to something that wasn't my bills.
Yeah, and you didn't want to have to tell me that. So that's the thing that you have to remember. Like, people don't want to say, like, oh, I can't afford it. Like, people don't want to tell you that. They don't know you, you know, unless they do know you. But you know what I mean? Okay, next question. Been having the same problem. Okay, yeah, so giving samples out, that's great. Jenny. I'm going to call you Jenny since that's your name on here. Do you go by Jenny? I don't think you're here. I think she stepped away. But I'm going to start calling you Jenny because it looks like that's what you go by. So now I feel bad. I've been calling you Jennifer literally in all my voice messages. Anyway, so yeah, like giving out samples, that's good. Doing like face-to-face stuff is awesome at like work and stuff. But don't feel like you have to give all of your products away. You can obviously give some, but I actually do sample packs and I sell them because our product is valuable, you're spending money on it and you don't want to just give everything away, obviously you can do some, but I'll do like 4 keto coffee packets for $20. And I do mix and match of all of our products that are like that can be sampled. So like the hydrate, collagen, greens, coffee, the new BFF product, all those you can mix and match and do like 4 for 20 or however you want to do it. So yeah, I hope that helps with that. So definitely like, you know, you can start advertising like the sample packs, and you can say like, if you don't want to commit to the 3-month whatever, it's a good way to like get people, because a lot of times people who order the sample packs are going to become a customer because they're going to fall in love with the product. So let's see. Okay, do you send the same follow-up message every time? Okay.
And you can call me Jenny, Jennifer, whatever.
Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, oh no. So
Sorry, I was helping the grandbaby.
that's okay. Oh my gosh, I totally get it. We all got babies here. So piggybacking on that, do you send the same follow-up message? Honestly, it just depends on the conversation and what we were talking about. So for like the 2-day follow-up, I always keep it so short and sweet, and I'll say something like, I'll kind of like call out the elephant in the room so that they don't feel bad about it. Like, hey, sorry if like, you know, you were in the middle of something the other day when we were talking. I get it. Like, I'm totally busy too. Just wanted to see if everything made sense in my message, or like just word it in a way that's like super casual and not like, hey, do you want to order from me now? You know what I mean? You want to make it like understanding, like maybe they were busy, maybe something came up. For my weekly follow-ups, I'll say something like, I'll create a little bit more urgency and say, you know, the whole thing about like having a couple spots left. I would love to like go over more details if like we haven't gone over the details. It just kind of depends on where the conversation left off, I guess. And that's another one of those things, like talking about the questions to ask yourself. What skill do I need to master? Like talking to people. That's something that's gonna like click over time. And I feel like you probably already have it down, but like, you know, you'll kind of figure out what's working and what's not in terms of like your follow-up messages. And like what to say, I guess is what I'm saying. So there was one other thing I wanted to do on paper, and it's similar to what we did before when we wrote down like the exact amount of money that we want out of this business every month, and then we wrote down like what it will go towards. I want to just get really specific about like other income amounts, and I'm going to go based on rank. And you know, you can write down the same things you wrote down before, but we're going to like together right now make a list. And if you can't think of things right on the spot right now, you can finish this list later. But I'm going to play music for, what time is it? Okay, so 20 minutes. We've been on for almost, yeah. So like 20 minutes, I'm going to play music, and we're going to write a list of things, 20, 30, like something around 20 to 30 things that this business is going to do for you. And this doesn't have to only be money. It doesn't have to be what specific bills, what specific charities. Like, it doesn't have to just be about that. You can write down like, it's given me friendships, it's given me freedom. Like, you can talk about those things too. And then if you want, like when we're done doing this, we can share like a few things that we wrote down. And the point of doing this is this is gonna give you a topic for a lifestyle / opportunity post for each day of the month. So that's the goal. How many days are in June? 30 or 31? 30. So if you can shoot for 30, so I would just number 1 through 30, do what you can in the 20 minutes that we're gonna do it together, and then just finish it like later. We can do it together. And after, I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes. And when it's done, it's fine if you don't finish it all, but when the timer goes off, we're gonna share a little bit and like brainstorm, because maybe somebody will say something and you're gonna be like, hey, that's a good idea. I'm gonna make my own variation of that. So I'm gonna put on music and we'll do this for 20 minutes.
Where are you now? When I can't figure it out. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up. You're not breaking by the war. You're not changing by the storm. I know you're in control. Even in the suffering, even when it can't be seen, I know you're in control. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Look up, Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up.
I have this on shuffle, so it's playing Christmas music.
I'm dreaming of a white.
No, I'm not dreaming of a white Christmas. Sorry. I'm really not. Like, not even a little bit. Okay. Hold on. Music.
We all get confused sometimes. And even embrace the lies. You gotta.
Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to add to this, you guys. When you're making this list, don't necessarily think about what's possible now. Think about what will be. Because, you know, in your post, you should be talking about where you want to go. I know a lot of you guys are new, so talk about like, one day I will be able to do this. What are those things? You know, write them down, because I'm writing down things that I wouldn't be able to do right this second. Like, I wrote down ability to travel anywhere, anytime at the drop of a hat. That's not really possible right now, but one day it will be, so that's why I'm putting it on my list. So think of those things, like dream really big, and you can write down the small things too, like pay for gas and groceries.
Expectations gotta be just like someone else. It's hard to realize you're more than enough to live like you are. Nothing less than the joy of his heart. Just come face the truth. There's nothing to prove. You are loved. You are loved. So live like you are. Live like you are. joy he gives. After the good times, shake off the doubt and fear and worry. And God will again. You're more than enough to live like you are. Nothing less than the joy of his heart. Just come face the truth. There's nothing to prove. You are love. You are love. To live like you are. So there's no need to try to live like you are. Nothing less than the joy of the heart. Just come face the truth. There's nothing to prove. You are love. You are love. Nothing less than the joy of his heart. Just come face the truth. Nothing to prove. You are love. You are love. Live like you are. Live like you are. Live like you are. Live like you are. Wide awake while the world's sound asleep. Too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. Every day you try to pick up all the pieces. All the memories that somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what to say about you. I don't know how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that can't be. God knows what you've been through. God knows what to say about you. God knows what's real. There's a kind of love that can't every single secret. So afraid someone's something they would need. Somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what to say about you. I don't know how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that I don't know. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what to say about you. I don't know what's real. There's a kind of love that I don't know.
You guys already have 30 things. You can go back and like get more specific or add more. It's always good to have more than one option.
see your fingerprints, the work of your hands. It's all in your head. I see the evidence, leaving nothing to chance. The world's in your hands. So rest in your promises. Now I am sure of this. I'm yours. Let the waters rise, I will stand as the ocean roars. Let the earth shake beneath me, let the mountains fall. You are God over the storm, and I am yours. I hear the voice of love calling me home to where I belong. It cripples every fear, and the ones who will kneel will walk away here. So rest in your promises. Now I am sure of it. I'm yours. No power strong enough to separate me from you now. I'm yours. Let the waters rise, I will stand as the ocean roars. Let the earth shake beneath me, let the mountains fall. You are God over the storm, and I'm in yours. Even the thunder and the wind obey at the command of my Father. I set my feet upon your mighty name. So let the rain fall harder. Don't take my everything, my flesh and blood. I lay me down on the altar. I am forever covered in your love. So let the rain fall. So let the waters rise, I will stand as the oceans roar. Let the earth shake beneath me, let the mountains fall. You are God over the storm, and I am yours. Let the waters rise, I will stand as the oceans roar. Let the earth shake beneath me, let the mountains fall. You are God over the storm, and I am yours. You are God over the storm, and I am yours. Where are you now? When darkness seems to win. Where are you now? When the world is crumbling. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey. Where are you now? When all I feel is doubt. Oh, where are you now? When I can't figure it out. Oh, I hear you say,
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. If you don't have everything, if you don't have 30 things, then obviously you can work on it later. Um, but I would be happy if anyone wants to share. I can share a couple of mine. And again, these are gonna be ideas for posts, for posting about this opportunity, because obviously, getting customers is great and we want to help people with these products, but a lot of you are shooting for ranks right now that require building a team. And I know that's like a big focus that all of you have for the beginning of June here. So posting about what this business is doing for you, what it will do for you, money-wise, friendship-wise, like all the different things it can do is so, so important. And if you're needing help with how to word things and how to actually make the post, I am always open to seeing like drafts of what you think. You can try writing something up based on something on your list, and then I'm willing to look it over and see if it sounds good. But let me see. I'll just say a couple of things. So yeah, like a small thing, pay for gas and groceries. You would not believe how many potential distributors I get from posting about, like posting a cart full of groceries, a picture of a cart full of groceries and saying, thanks to my business, I don't have to worry about my card declining. Or when I post a little boomerang video on my story of the gas price going up and saying, thanks, it works for covering my tank so that I don't have to, keep putting, like I used to only be able to put $10 in at a time, like just being super vulnerable and real, because those are the things that people connect to, and I think a lot of us who are new, we worry like, well, I don't have this big extravagant story, like no one's going to want to join me because I didn't make $1 million in 5 minutes and I don't have a Lamborghini. People don't relate to that. Let me just say, they don't. Like people see, top leaders in this business who, that's an exaggeration obviously, but they see top leaders who like have these fancy cars and like make, a lot of money, and they think, well, that's cool for them, but I couldn't do that. People aren't able to dream that big yet. They haven't even thought of that. They see you able to pay for gas and groceries and they think, wait, I have to pay for gas and groceries. She's using her business. I could do that. Like it makes it so much more relatable. What else? And then I have bigger things on here. One thing that's really close, like near and dear to my heart, is like mission trips. Like whatever it may be. Like I was part of a Christian organization in college of missionaries that like would go overseas and things like that. And I have on my list being able to fully fund missionaries on their trips, like things like that, like big extravagant things. Like talk about that stuff too, because you never know who that's going to speak to. What else? I put, okay, so this may seem silly, but I put like birthday parties, Christmas, those random things that like seem to sneak up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get a cake, I gotta get presents, I gotta get balloons, I gotta get all the things, and I don't have money for that. Like little stuff like that.
I am totally feeling that right now.
Oh yeah, his birthday's so soon. 2 days? Yeah, it's June.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. What else do I have on here? Oh, one goal Ryan and I have is to, next year is our 5-year anniversary. We want to do like a big trip. We want to like go somewhere, like fly somewhere else, like a different state or something. So I plan on talking about that and how we're going to save for that. Does anyone else want to share?
I will.
Okay.
So a couple of mine, I got 28 things down, so
Yay.
I got a couple more to do. But like some of my things on here, like you said, some are small things and some are big things. So
Yeah.
like small things are like diapers, because diapers are expensive,
Yeah.
but there's something that you cannot just not get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like kind of stressful when you're a mom.
Yeah, totally.
Like we all get that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like one of my bigger things is travel back to Washington.
Nice.
Like not just like once. Like I want to be able to like go there and like hang out with my Washington family, as what I call them, even though they're not family,
Yeah.
like be able to go there like maybe 2 or 3 times a year and not just once, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Totally.
And quit my job because I hate my job.
I
Like
know you
it's
work really hard, and you're kind of talking about how you get like yelled at all day by
yeah.
like, yeah, that's hard. That's really, really
Mm.
hard. And I feel like, yeah, that freedom. So like our company is based on friendship, freedom, and fun, and obviously the pay. But those 3 F's, friendship, freedom, and fun, that freedom one stands out to me so much because I started this with 3 jobs and was going to school online. Like I was nuts. I was crazy. I remember calling my mom and telling her that I started this business, and she was like, I could feel her looking at me like this through the phone, even though we were on the phone. But like, I was so busy. I was the busiest person, and that freedom of like, we were moving, so I had to, leave those jobs because we were moving. But the freedom of knowing I didn't have to worry about what am I going to do when we get to Minnesota where we're moving. I got to find a job. I have to hurry up. I didn't have to do that. I was at the point where I could just do this. And that freedom tastes so good when you work so hard for it in this business. So I love that so much.
Yes.
Anything else? Otherwise, Jenny, if
I
you
do.
want
I
to share.
have
Oh, yeah.
like, like just the one that like really is, my big thing on like all like my list of all these things is just working on me. Like with this business, I get to work on me.
Mm-hmm.
And like how many other businesses do you get to say that with? Like not my desk job. My desk job, I get to sit there and get yelled at all day by providers that are pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you don't get this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
just
totally.
I just want to scream it to people because it's like I started this business. I was telling you this the other day. Like I started this business because I wanted money, but it's like I am falling in love with all of our products.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I like get a new one and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this one. I get a new one and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this one.
Yeah, it's so much fun to like try, and the fact that they keep coming out with more stuff too. And that's another thing I had on my list too, is like, bettering myself and like getting healthy. And it's been a long road for me with PCOS, and I don't want to use that as an excuse, but you guys can Google that later. I'm not going to get into all that, but like just my struggles with weight and, yo-yoing and everything that happened with my C-section, like my story, I know it needs to be heard. And I know it's made me who I am for this business in terms of like growing my team and stuff like that. But I also know that I have these products that can help me get to where I want to be. I just have to decide, and I have to stay consistent. And it's like, they're right here in the palm of my hand, like amazing. Like I'm so ready for it, and I'm so like pumped, and like I'm just all fired up. You guys are getting me all excited.
Yes.
Does anyone else want to share anything they put on their list? If you don't, that's fine.
John and I work a full-time job, so my biggest thing is to be able to go on vacations with our family, have
Yeah.
extra spending money, pay for gas, help out with the bills a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the extra funds. But biggest thing is just building myself because I'm new to this marketing situation. I sit behind the desk and draft cabinets all day. So
Okay.
it's totally different for me.
Yeah, that's so great. My husband's a drafter, so that's so cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does like steel fabrication type stuff. So that's so cool. I didn't know that was your background. Yeah, I mean, the vacation thing too, like, oh my gosh, you guys, this business is so awesome. They have all these events that you can go to in Florida. And when I joined, I'm like crossing my fingers, hoping they bring this back someday. They had a cruise that you could earn. And I earned it in my first 2 months. And I literally was bawling in my tiny little studio apartment that I lived in. And we had a cardboard box as our table. Like, I wish I was kidding, and I'm not. Literally like crying, like, how did I earn this? Because it was like a points thing, and I was able to go on this cruise, and like the fact that they have, you know, things like that. And with these trips, everything's a tax write-off because it's a business trip. So if you think about it like that, like you're investing in yourself. So just the vacation thing got me all excited thinking about, ooh, Florida, like all these different things. So that's so awesome. Like I love those. Crystal, do you want to share anything? Otherwise, I can wrap it up. I don't want to make you go on if you don't want to. Otherwise, I think that was everything. Let me just look over everything quick. I wrote notes in case I forgot something. So I think, yeah, when we get off of here, finish your list if you didn't. Add more details to it if you want. And then also write down on a sticky note or on a piece of paper with tape, write down that money vision, that money amount that you have in mind, and then go hang it somewhere. I don't care.
I have it written down on 3 pieces of paper.
There you go.
And I'm going to hang it 3 places.
Yes. And then go hang it up and then like post it in the team page. Like, oh, no, I can't think of anything at the moment. I think everything was pretty much covered. Okay, awesome. So yeah, write that down, hang it up somewhere. And then for tomorrow, we'll have the family call, which is at 9 Central Time. And for that, we're just gonna listen to it on Zoom. Like I'll share the screen and we'll listen to it and just work while we listen. So that'll be the next one we do. I'm gonna stop recording now.